Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to our final lesson of this week, but not the last one on fractions because we've still got lots to learn. So let's get started on today's lesson. On your screen, you have your do now. So we're just going to recap yesterday's learning. So remember, I need to multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, or it might be dividing them by the same number if you're trying to find the one on this side. So let's just quickly recap with the first question together. So I need to look at my denominators because my numerator is the missing number. And I know 4 times something is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Fantastic. So I need to do the exact same to my numerator. So I need to do 3 times 2. And hopefully you know that 3 times 2 is 6. Well done. Okay, so hopefully you've remembered that from yesterday and you can continue the rest of the questions on your own. So pause the video, have a go, and then come back when you're ready. Off you go. Okay, hopefully you've managed to have a go at all those questions. Let's look at the answers together. So for the next one, I am looking at my denominators again. I know that 5 times 3 is 15, so 2 times 3 is 6. The next question, I have my numerator missing again. So I know 8 times 2 is 16 and 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, let's move on to this side. So a bit tricky this time because we might have to use some of our division facts to help us as well. So I know that 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I also need to divide 21 by 3 because I must do the same. So 21 divided by 3 is 7. Okay. Let's look at the next one, 99 and 9. So thinking, how many times does 9 go into 99? 99 divided by 9 is 11. So I need to do 132 divided by 11. So your answer should be 12, 9/12. Okay, and finally, I had 42 and 6 as my numerators. So 42 divided by something equals 6. 42 divided by 7 equals 6. So 63 divided by 7 as well is also equal to 9. Okay? So, moving on to today's lesson, we're going to be solving problems involving fractions and division. First of all, I'm just going to pop up your star words. If you would like to pause the video and discuss them with someone at home and recap the meanings, feel free to do that now, and then you can come back when you're ready. Great, we should know those words very well now because we've been looking at them for the past 2 weeks. So let's get on with our lesson for today. So on your screen, you can see a statement here. 1 divided by 3 equals 1/3. I've just put a little picture there to help you. But I just want you to think, is that true or false? Is 1 divided by 3 the same as finding 1/3? So use the picture to help you. I've got 1 whole divided into 3 parts. So is 1 divided by 3 the same as 1/3? So you can pause the video and have a chat to someone at home or have a think to yourself. And then we're going to go on to the next part and have a think about whether this is true or false. Okay, so hopefully you've managed to have a little think about that. Let's have a look. So if 1 pizza is divided equally, now remember that's a really important word there because when we're doing our fractions, it must be equal. Between 3 people, how much does each person get? So I've got 1 whole pizza divided by 3 into 3 people. Okay, so I've already done that for us here. I've put it into 3 equal parts because I've got 3 people. So we're just going to share that out, give them all a nice piece of pizza each, and they've all got how much? They have 1/3 of the pizza because there were 3 parts and they have 1 of them. So this person has 1/3, this person has 1/3, and this person has 1/3 because 3/3 make up my whole pizza. So 1 pizza divided by 3 people equals 1/3. 1 divided by 3 equals 1/3. So was my statement true or false? Fantastic, it was true. So let's have a look at another example. So if 1 pizza is divided equally between 4 people, how much does each person get now? So I've got my pizza, I've split it equally into 4 pieces because there are 4 people. I'm going to give each person 1 part. So each person gets 1/4, 1/4. So 1 divided by 4, 1 pizza divided by 4 people is same as 1/4 as well. So we can start to see the relationship between my numerator and denominator. I have my whole pizza on the top and how many parts it's been divided to in the bottom. So we did look at this at one of our lessons last week in a little bit of detail, but we're going to go into that more today. So let's look at another example. If 1 pizza is divided equally between 5 people, how much does each person get? So I'd just like you to pause the video for a moment and think about how much is each person going to, fraction is that going to be? So pause the video and have a think and then come back when you're ready. Okay, hopefully you've managed to think about that. So if I share out the pieces between, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal pieces for 5 people. So each person received 1/5 of my pizza. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 parts make up the whole because 5/5 is equal to 1 whole. So each person is receiving 1/5. So similarly, 1 pizza divided by 5 people equals 1/5. I wonder if you can think what's going to happen if I had 6 pieces of pizza. What would the fraction be then? So if I had 1 pizza and 6 people, then my fraction is going to be 1/6. Okay, so hopefully you're beginning to see the pattern. So how about our non-unit fractions? So remember, non-unit fractions is when we have a greater than 1 number on the top. So I've got 3 on the top, which is definitely greater than 1, so this is a non-unit fraction. So is 3 divided by 4 equal to 3/4 as well? So if 3 pizzas are divided equally between 4 people, how much would each person get? Now, it might be a little bit trickier to think about this in your head this time, whether it's true or false, because it's a little bit trickier to split up these pizzas in your head. So let's have a look and see if it works. So I've got my 3 pizzas and I'm dividing them equally between 4 people. 3 divided by 4. So let's have a look what fraction they get and whether it is going to equal 3/4. So there's a few different ways that I could split this up, and we're going to have a look at each one and see if it's going to give me the same answer. So I'm going to give 1 person a piece of that pizza, 1 person that one, 1 person that one, 1 person that one. And then they're all going to get a piece of my green pizza. And then they're all going to get a piece of the blue. Okay, so as you can see, each person has received 3 pieces, 3 out of 4 pizzas. Let's just have another look at how we could divide that up. So I could give a person a half of this pizza, I could give this person half of this one. That's good. And then they can all have 1 piece of the blue pizza. So again, I started with my 3 pizzas, I've divided them between my 4 people and each person has got 3 slices. Or I could give this person 3 of those. I could give this person 3 of those. So you can clearly see my 3/4 now, how much everybody receives. So again, each person has got 3 slices of pizza. So a fraction can be the result of division. So if the 3 pizzas are divided equally between the 4 people, how much does each person get? Well, as we've just seen, each person received 3 pieces of pizza, 3/4. Okay, so is that true or false? It's true. So my wholes that I'm dividing are always going to be my numerator, and how many I'm dividing by are on the bottom in my denominator. So what I would like you to do now, we're going to have a look at 2 other examples. I want you to pause the video and think about what fraction is being shown in each question. So number 1, 2 pizzas are shared between 3 people. How much does each person get? So think about what is going to be my numerator and denominator. And then 6 people share 4 pizzas. How much does each person get? So you've got 2 fractions to think about there. So pause the video and have a go, and then come back and we're going to look at that together. Off you go. Okay, so let's look at number 1. I have 2 whole pizzas and they're being shared between 3 people. How much would each person get if I was to share those pizzas equally? So each pizza would be split into 3 parts and they would get a part from each pizza. So I have 2 pizzas on top and 3 people on the bottom. So each person would get 2 slices, because I would split this one into 3 parts and this one into 3 parts as well. So they would get a slice from each. Okay, so 2 slices of pizza. If 6 people equally share 4 pizzas, how much does each person get? So it's a little bit tricky this time because we've put it a different way around. But look, there are 4 pizzas. That is my whole that I'm sharing. So that should be my numerator. And my denominator is how many people. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. So each person would get 4/6 of pizza. Okay, well done if you managed to get both of those correct. Let's move on and have a look at the next part of our lesson. So we're going to be comparing those fractions now. So first of all, I'd like to think, would you rather share 4 pizzas between 5 or 6 people? So looking at the pizzas and number of people, so I've got one group of people here, there's 5 of them, and they've got 4 pizzas. And I've got some people on this side, but there's 6 people this time, again with 4 pizzas. So which group would you rather be in? Would you rather have 4/5 of pizza or 4/6 of pizza? So just pause for a moment and have a think about that, and then we're going to discuss which one we think is a better choice. Okay, so hopefully you've recognised that there's the same number of pizzas, but there's more people in this group. So if there are more people, there's going to be less pizza to go around. So hopefully you can see in your representations here that if I have 4/5, it's bigger parts. So remember, the smaller the denominator, the bigger the parts are, the bigger the fraction, which we discussed in a previous lesson. So you can see this one's split into 6 parts, so the parts are slightly smaller. So if I was in this group of people, I would get slightly more pizza. You can also see on your bar model underneath that 1/5 is bigger than 1/6. So if I was to have 1, 2, 3, 4/5 of this pizza, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4 of this one. So we can see the length of this bar is also longer. So 4/5 is greater than 4/6. So me personally, I would definitely rather be in the group sharing with 5 of my friends, okay? Because that means I would get more pizza. Right, let's have a look at another example then. So I want you to think about what we've been learning over the past week or so. So would you rather share 4 pizzas between 6 people or 2 pizzas between 3 people? So straight away you might think, oh, there's more pizzas here, so I might want to be in that group. But there's less people in here. So which one do you think it would be? So thinking about our learning from the past few lessons, I want you to look really carefully at the fractions and have a think. Which would you rather have? So you might have spotted a pattern. I wanted to show you our bars to compare. So you can see here our bars to compare 2/3 and 4/6. What do you notice? Thinking about our fraction rules that we've been using to help us as well. So hopefully you have remembered that 3 and 6 are multiples, and 2 and 4 are also multiples of the 2 times tables. So 3 can be divided into 6 2 times, and 2 can be divided into 4 2 times. So these are actually equivalent fractions, which means they are the same. They are the same. So, which would you rather have? It doesn't really matter. So if I was in this group, it would just mean that my pieces are cut into smaller parts, okay? My slices would be half of the size, but I still have double the amount than here. So I'm getting the same amount of pizza, it's just cut up into smaller pieces, okay? So it's just up to you whether you would rather spend more time with more people or with less people. You're still getting the same amount of pizza, okay? So each person is getting twice as many parts here, but you can see if I put them closer together, it is still the same amount of pizza, okay? There's twice as many people, the pizza is in twice as many parts. Okay, so what you are going to do now, remembering that my whole, the number of pizzas or parts that are being shared out is on the top, and then how many people would be my denominator. So remember that to help you. I would like you to read through each question and have a go at writing the fraction that it is representing. When you are ready, come back, unpause the video, and then we're going to go through the questions together. You don't need to copy down all the questions. You can write your answers just on a piece of paper, and then you can post that to Seesaw for us to have a look at later. So have a go and come back when you're ready. Off you go. Okay, so hopefully you've managed to have a go at those questions. So let's go through them together. So the first one, Miss Jones buys 2 pizzas for her friend's dinner party. There will be 4 people there. How much pizza will each person eat? So there are 2 pizzas, so that is my wholes that are being divided. So that would be my numerator. And there are 4 people that is being divided between. So my fraction should be 2 quarters, 2 fourths, okay? Okay, number 2, Mr. Parker buys packs of 3 packs of Play-Doh. 6 children want to play with it. How much Play-Doh does each child receive? So there are 3 packs of Play-Doh, so that is what is being shared, and then 6 children that is being shared between. So similarly to our first one, my 3 needs to be my numerator, and my 6 is my denominator. Each child would get 3 6. Number 3, Miss Boots has 2 watermelons. 5 children need a snack, so she shares with them. How much does each child get? So there are 2 watermelons and 5 children. So 2 watermelons and 5 children. So we should have got 2 fifths. Well done if you've got those so far. Gets a little bit tricky with some larger numbers now. We have to think which way around my fraction needs to be. So Jenny has 18 friends coming to her party. She only has 6 cupcakes to share. What fraction of the cupcakes does each friend receive? So it's a little bit trickier this time because my friends, the number of people is first. So there are 18 friends that are getting the cupcake shared between them, and there are 6 cupcakes. That is what I am sharing. So my fraction should be 6/18. Well done if you managed to get that one correct. Okay, let's look at the next question. Ben bought 3 bars of chocolate. 3 bars of chocolate, and he shared them between himself, Flynn, James, and Mohammed. So there are 3 bars of chocolate, and he shared them between himself, Flynn, James, and Mohammed. So hopefully you've recognised there are 4 people. So you needed to count himself, James, Flynn, and Mohammed. So there are 3 bars of chocolate, which is my whole that is being shared, and 4 people. So you should have got 3 quarters. And number 6, Miss Jones ordered 4 pizzas to share between 6 Dojo winners. Write the fraction of pizza each child will receive. So there are 4 whole pizzas and 6 children being shared between. So our first fraction should be 4/6. A little bit more of a challenge at the end. So just before lunch, more Dojo winners arrived. There were 24 children in total. Miss Jones had to change her order. So how many pizzas would she now have to order so that each child would get the same amount? So we started with 6 children, and there are now 24 children. So I need to think about how many pizzas Miss Jones is now going to order. She was going to order 4 for 6 children, but now it's changed to 24. So I gave you a little bit clue at the end saying think about your equivalent fraction. So hopefully you can see the relationship between these two numbers. There were 6 children, there are now 24. So there are 6, 12, 18, 24, 4 times the amount of children that there were at the beginning. So if there are 4 times the amount of children, there also needs to be 4 times the amount of pizza, or they're not going to get the same amount, and I don't think they're going to enjoy sharing that. So I need to do 4 times 4 to find the equivalent fraction, which should be 16 over 24. Good, fantastic, well done. If you managed to get all of those correct, I'd be really impressed. I can't wait to see all of your work on Seesaw later. Let's just have a look at a little question that's going to help us with our learning as we go forward. So if the pizzas are shared equally, what fraction does each person get? So this time I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pizzas and 4 children. So remember, my whole number that is being shared goes on the top, and then how many it's being shared between is on the denominator. So what would my fraction be to represent this problem? Okay, so hopefully you have recognised that there are 6 pizzas, so that should still be my numerator, and there are 4 children. So this might look a bit strange because my larger number is on top, but this is what we call an improper fraction, which we're going to be looking at in our next few lessons. So each child would get 1 whole pizza each, and then they would get half of one of the other pizzas, because I can split these in 2, and they would get another half each. So they would have 1.5 pizzas each. So next week we'll be looking at how that is the same as 6 quarters. Okay? Right, I'm just going to pop and unshare my screen. Okay, hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Great work this week, guys. We're really impressed with all your work. I know fractions can be a bit tricky when you're at home, but do make sure you watch the videos back and you're checking your answer sheets and you're watching the videos when the teachers are explaining the answers. So great work, keep it up, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next week for our next fraction lesson. Bye everybody.